Congratulations yet again to Trump. Guys, let's give him another round of applause. Trump, did you expect your matches to go the way they did today, or were there any surprises?
The people I went up against brought some pretty standard decks, and that's actually what I prepared my lineup against, so I'm glad I didn't face surprises. I think my lineup of 3 might have been weak against surprises, but managed to get the patron matchups. That's good stuff.
Well, you haven't had long to prepare with the grand tournament yet. How did you go about spending this about a week, coming up with new strategies or mixing them with the old?
Man, I really like the grand tournament. It's opened up a lot of ideas. I immediately tried out some decks when the grand tournament came out. The bad news is the decks that I came up with weren't that great, so I didn't bring them to the starter lineup at least. Since we're bringing a 4th deck, maybe we'll see something a bit new. We'll see. So what I figured out basically were a few things that didn't work, and hopefully I brought the things that did work, and today is good.
I think it has been pretty good for you so far. You will advance now. You are in the semifinals. You're going to compete tomorrow. How are you feeling about the opponents that are already there in the semifinals? Do you feel confident against them?
I didn't really even feel confident against the opponents today, but one step at a time. I made it to the top 4, hooray. Kalento is really scary, and yeah, it's going to be tough, but one step at a time, getting to the top 4, hooray.
You mentioned that you might have some new things up your sleeves. Are you saving some strategies back for tomorrow?
Well, we're bringing a 4th deck, so there's a good chance that I'm bringing something new tomorrow.
Do you feel like the grand tournament fits with your play style in a particular way?
It really does, because it's so value-oriented. In my warrior deck, I did bring the 2 super value cards of Justicar and Varian Rin. I actually have to thank VLPS a bit for just watching his control warrior, and I actually went against what he advised and decided to put in Varian and decided to put in Justicar because I thought it would be a bit slower, and it worked out. Both those cards worked out really well today.
Well, speaking of thanks and shout-outs, is there anyone you want to say hi to before we sign off?
Yeah, I'd actually like to thank all the decks that I've based today off of. I have like one person to thank for each deck. I have to thank Era for the Druid deck, VLPS for the Warrior deck, the Warlock deck. Amnesia has been doing really well with it, so I couldn't go wrong with it. And tomorrow I have someone else to thank if I do well with it. And thanks to Kibler, who was fellow Value Town teammate, for looking at the decks at the last minute and being like, oh yeah, these look good, Trump.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations again. Guys, we will bring you some more Hearthstone right after this commercial.